So you guys know that one guy, right? Driving along in his mom's 3 Series and it's got an M badge on the rear. Or maybe it's a C300 with an AMG badge. Or maybe it's an Audi A4 with an S4 badge and a supercharger sticker on the side. Oh wait, I'm guilty of that actually. The grille for the S4 is cheaper than the A4, what? Anyways guys, let's do that to an iPhone. Let's turn our regular iPhone 6 Plus or 6s Plus into an iPhone 7 Plus with this easy kit. The best way to ruin the look of your iPhone. Seriously, what have I done? Guys, I'm gonna show you guys this kit. I'm not saying it's gonna look pretty. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. But should you? That is the real question here. So the things China comes up with. Here it is, the iPhone 7 Plus kit for the iPhone 6 Plus and 6s Plus. So it will turn your camera into a dual camera. Oh wait, no, that's just a little extension. So I think this is the worst looking mod I've ever seen for the iPhone 7 Plus or the 6 Plus, 6s Plus that makes it look like a 7 Plus. Anybody that will notice it will automatically assume you're an idiot, and the people that don't understand will not know that it's a 7 Plus. It's just like the badge conundrum. The people that notice are the ones that are going to get mad, and everybody else just doesn't care. So if you're going to go through the lengths to install a mod kit like this on your 6s Plus or 6 Plus, I mean, I don't know. The end result isn't that great. So wait a minute, Philip, you showed me just a little bit ago the kit for the iPhone 6 and 6s. However, guys, I gotta say this one looks miles better. It actually looks almost genuine. And I think there's a big difference between this for the regular 6 and 6s versus the Plus version. Look at the cameras. They actually look pretty good. The bands, the sizing, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a kit for the larger one that just looks awful. Regardless, I'm going to show you guys how to install this. And while I'm at it, I'm going to install a glowing Apple logo from a kit. Hopefully we can make something good or decently looking happen from this, but I just think I'm going to need to ask for forgiveness after this one, doing this to my poor 6 Plus. All right, let's get started. Now my 6 Plus is really worn. You can see I just bought this thing off of eBay. It's not the best condition. There's dents in the shell. You know, I could see people doing this if they just wanted to replace the housing, give their iPhone a fresh new look. And although the cameras do look like complete garbage, I gotta say the antenna bands look very nice, very fresh. So that's the one thing I do like about these. And yeah, so man, that just not doing it for me. Okay, let's take this thing apart. So first things first is to hit the screws on the bottom if you guys want to do this. And technically this will be an iPhone 7 Plus with a headphone jack too, so it makes it extremely unique. And by unique isn't always great, guys. All right, so pull these guys out. And as always, when performing any sort of repairs on an iPhone, I would highly recommend you guys get a mat for your repairs, so you know where to put the screws and you don't lose them. It really helps. Unless you're extremely experienced with this stuff, I highly recommend one of these. Now we're going to use our little plunger tool to plunge the display, lift it up slightly, and get in here with the pry tool and go around. It's always a good idea to get one of these housings in the color of your Touch ID home button, or the original color anyways, as it's going to look a little bit off after if your home button doesn't match. And no wonder this phone doesn't charge very well. The battery's aftermarket. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew all of those. And in case any of you guys were wondering how much this kit costs, it's about $40 to $50. So I think it's well worth it for the standard iPhone 7, but the Plus kit, I don't know. But hey, the only reason I'm making this video is because you guys asked me to. A lot of people requested the larger variant and how it would look and how to do it, so this is it. So we're gonna remove this connector plate to the display, get that out of the way. I bought this phone off of eBay, so it doesn't charge, but it still turns on and works, and I'm hoping it has something to do with the battery, which I will be replacing. So in a way, I'm destroying this iPhone's life. In a way, I'll be fixing it too. All right, so pry the display connectors off gently, not like that. So there we go. Now, I hate to break things on accident, guys. I've broken so many phones on this channel, I know, but I've never broken an iPhone display on accident. Believe it or not, never, not once. And I'm not always the most careful person. I'm just a little bit confused here. Why is this battery upside down? This text is tripping me out. The regular one is supposed to sit upright like this. I feel like I'm holding the phone upside down constantly. We're gonna take the screws over here off for the battery next, and begin by removing the logic board. So we're going to go ahead and start unscrewing all of these screws on here. Of course, remove the SIM card tool. That should have been step number one for me. And because the battery was replaced on this iPhone, I can't really show you guys, but there will be 3 tabs down here. Gently pry them up and pull upwards, not this way, not straight up, but diagonally, and do it very slowly. Patience is key. This one is just held on by some adhesive. So I'm just gonna pry this cheap battery out and throw it away or recycle it. All right, now that we got the battery out of the way, it's a little bit easier, so we can go ahead and start removing all of these components. And again, I say to get the same housing color as your current one, because replacing the buttons is really painful when you have to do swap all of the little pieces on there to a new color. So it's best to just get them in the same color and put the same color in the new housing. And I would highly recommend an iFixit guide, of course, because I will be skipping over some of this, glossing over it. It's really all there, and they're gonna do a better job at explaining what to do. So go ahead and remove all of the components and replace them into the shell of the 7 Plus, supposedly. All right, so once you have removed all of the bolts holding the logic board into place, go ahead and lift that out. And actually there's a little connector over here. On the back, you guys want to make sure to unplug the little antenna connector, and it is free to go. So there is the logic board, the brains, set that aside. And what's left is to go ahead and remove all of this and all these connectors and replace them to the new shell. Before I begin reinstalling things though, I'm gonna go ahead and pry this Apple logo out, just because I will be installing the glowing one. So I will gently, and by gently I mean very difficultly, remove it. All right, and there it is. So pop that out, and we've got our kits over here. So we're gonna pop this one in. Now, peeling the jack and the connector on the very bottom, you want to be extremely careful here. Peeling it back, you don't want to tear any of this. So once you've got all the bolts removed, basically just pry it off, and we're gonna restick it onto the new housing. Can be a little daunting, I know, but there's really no other way to do this. And I've already swapped over all the other buttons and stuff up top. Just gonna put this in down here, slip the headphone jack in first. And lastly, you guys want to remove all of these screen guidelines and screw them into the new housing. So they're going to be on both sides of the phone. That's where the screen is going to sit and pop into place on. So you want to make sure to transfer all of those. Don't forget about them. All right, guys, I have finished. And before I close this thing up, I'm going to go ahead and test out the Apple logo. For some reason, they did send me a blue one, which I didn't ask for. But it is ready, so I can go ahead and close the phone up. And in a second here, let's take a look at what I've got. All right, guys, so I am complete. Let's take a look at the monstrosity I have created. And so the phone is working, you know, I didn't mess up there, thank goodness. But let's peel the back, and look at that. A nice bluish glowing Apple logo. So I didn't ask for it, but they sent me a blue one. So the camera looks a little off. Like, if you're an iPhone 7 Plus user, you'll probably be looking at this and be wondering what the heck is going on in anyone's mind that would want to install this. It looks awful. So the antenna bands look great. I gotta say, over here, the text, they did remove the FCC label, so that's no longer there. It's a very clean look from here and down. So you also get the headphone jack on the 7, which is awesome, but you know, it's just not the same. No, the cameras look horrendous. I mean, I feel like if they just left the camera as it was, a little circle, and then updated the antenna design, it should be okay, right? Also, I wanted to address something. So does the service get affected? You know, when I actually did it to the iPhone 7, I gotta tell you, no. Full bars always. I have not noticed a single difference in the service. You know, it's always quick to find it, get good internet, and it's just, you know, I wouldn't say it affects it in any way. It's fantastic. So does this affect cellular service? No. On the 7 Plus, it shouldn't either, but there it is, guys. So for some reason, you guys can see there's little ripples over here as I was removing it. This is a very thin metal. It's not the Series 7000 that's on the iPhone 6s and the 7. So if you guys will be getting it, take note. It is a little bit more fragile. It's a weaker Chinese quality metal, guys. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that. And I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the Chinese aftermarket Apple logos and the custom one we had made. So this is all the way up, and it's very, very dim, like very dim. So let's pull out my iPhone 7 Plus that we did the logo mod on. And first off, when they're off, you know, this one does look a little bit brighter as it does have the reflective panel behind it. This one has nothing. Let's turn the brightness up to, let's say, 50% to give you guys a little point of reference here. Right there. All right. At 50%, it looks so much brighter. So at just about 25%, look at the difference. It's beautiful, it's bright and white, whereas on this one, the blue one, you know, it's very, very dim. And now we turn it up all the way. Oh my gosh, guys, the iOS 10's control center just gets me every time. You can never freaking slide it up. Anyways, and the bright white OEM, like there's just no comparison here. So as far as the glowing Apple logo goes, custom one in Washington, DC, where I got mine done, is way, way better, way more noticeable. All right, so there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't do this, but if you want to, I'll leave a link to where I got it from down below. Peace.